Welcome to another episode of the MEGIN Spotlight series. Today, we are delighted to welcome our new strategic software partners, FIND Neuro, to the Spotlight. Joining us today are guests Noam, Peled and Yaron. Some of our audience may recall that at AES in Orlando in end of 2023, we announced a new strategic partnership with FIND Neuro, who will develop a multi-modal platform to improve MEG utilization for pre-surgical evaluation. We believe FIND's solution will significantly improve the precision and effectiveness of pre-surgical evaluation, ultimately leading to a better surgical patient outcomes. Hello, Noam and Avi, nice to see you.
Hi, Gabs. Pleasure
Hi.
to see you.
Hi, Gab.
So let me tell you a bit more about our guests today. Noam is an instructor in radiology at Harvard Medical School and MGH. Noam is a co-founder of FIND Neuro, in addition to being the company's CEO. Avi has an extensive background as founder, CEO, and executive chairman of neurotech startups, in addition to previously leading Joy Ventures and Health YA Ventures. Currently, he's also a co-founder and executive chairman at FIND Neuro. So Noam, you've worked in the MEG field for many years at MGH. Can you tell our audience a bit more about your role there? And during your time in the MEG field, what changes have you seen to the field and how do you feel it has evolved?
Thanks, Gab. So my major role in MGH is to work with Professor Steven Staffelbeam, the medical director, to analyze MEG data for patients who are being referred to us for MEG study. These are drug-resistant epilepsy patients, and it's part of surgical planning towards brain surgery. I'm also collaborating with Boston Children's and Texas Children's, and mostly what I saw in the last, let's say, almost 10 years, that first of all, more patients are being referred to the MEG for the surgical planning. There are more neurosurgeons think about MEG as a crucial tool as part of this pipeline, and I'm really glad to see that. And besides of more patients, I can also see a better utilization. For example, right now at MGH, they're also trying to integrate the MEG results into the SIG implantation strategy using the robotic arm. So that's a great leap forward. Another one last thing that I also see a movement towards not only using dipoles, but also using source distribution that are using now with Steven's lab as part of the surgical planning report.
So what sparked your interest then, Noam, in developing FIND Neuro? What is the aim of this platform and how do you feel it will support the needs of clinical and research users?
Yeah, so maybe I'll tell you a bit about why Steve and I decided to found this company. Around 5 years ago, a girl was referred to us as one of the patients. She was referred from Boston Children's. And this girl had 50 seizures a day, coming from different brain regions. And these cases are really complicated for surgery. The neurosurgeon is not going to resect all of this region. And after the MEG study, we thought, okay, maybe we can utilize better the MEG results. Instead of just dipole fits, let's look on the neurodynamics. Because we knew that epilepsy is a network phenomena, and it can yield better surgical outcomes if we treat the network. So this is when Steven and I started to implement our algorithm that we call critical nodes algorithm to find what brain regions during these seizures or interictals drive the epilepsy activity. And we found 4 hubs. And we had a theory that maybe the neurosurgeon at Boston Children can use what's called responsive stimulation, RNS device. Those are electrodes that record and stimulate on those hubs. And maybe this is how we can stop all of the seizures. And so we went ahead, discussed it with the neurosurgeon. He implanted orthotic EEG, invasive electrodes, also in those spots, found the same regions, and decided to go ahead and implant RNS. And this is how we could stop all of her seizures from 50 seizures a day to 0. And for me, that was the huge aha moments. Before that, I didn't really feel that I helped anyone. I came from computer science. So this is when Steve and I decided, okay, we want to bring this technology to as many patients as possible, and for that we need a company.
So how do you feel this platform will support improving the precision and effectiveness of the pre-surgical evaluation? Ultimately, how will it lead to better surgical patient outcomes?
Yeah, so first of all, this algorithm, the critical node algorithm, can detect specific nodes on the cortical surface as surgical targets. So hopefully in the future, they won't really need to do a huge resection of maybe a complete lobe, but a more precise surgery in those nodes. It can be ablation, it can be even RNS. And we also hope that using those neuromodulation techniques like RNS, we'll be able to treat patients in a less invasive and more reversible approach and stop all of the seizures.
Incredible. So Avi, let's come to you then. Can you also introduce yourself to the audience and tell them more about your entrepreneurial background in the medtech space and also how you became involved with FIND Neuro?
Yeah, thanks. So I'm a humble servant in short, and inventor, entrepreneur of several companies, up to being diagnosed at the age of 26 with an inoperable brain tumor. I had an intraventricular neurocytoma, and the conventional surgical approach, which is transcallosal, would have most likely left me hemiparetic with epilepsy and cognitive malfunction, and that was too much for me. And I learned enough medicine and searched worldwide to eventually find a surgeon in NYU after 18 months that operated on me. It was a 2-day procedure shown on CNN, a transfrontal approach, and he was able to resect most of the tumor and not all of it, and with the frustration and the need that he explained, I invented the solution, which is the miniature single chip 3D camera, basically working under the diffraction limit, and took it from patents to global company that was acquired by Medtronic. This is over 16 years. And I went through very, very tough times and learned a lot about the dissonance between the timeframes of market education, which is more than a decade, to timeframes of technology being obsolescence, and that's 3 years. And every time you need to develop a new chip, and new software, etc., and you will go out of business belly up 10 times before, and that was a horrible experience for me and led me to vow I will never do it again. I will never be a CEO again. B, develop and assist companies to develop strategies that can cope with this horrible barrier. And since then, I was involved with several neurotech companies and to $50 million VCs. But now I'm too old and life is too short, so I'm basically dedicated to FIND Neuro, which for me is a dream come true. I wish, I would have that as a patient, and God forbid, I'm still volunteering and supporting many others, and it's just a solution that must be in the market as soon as possible. Of course, responsibly, etc. And I'm doing everything that I can, meaning I'm preparing the coffee, giving hugs, etc.
It sounds like you're the right partner. But for MEGIN, the partnership presents a firm commitment towards enhancing its planned end-to-end solution, and it aims to strengthen the best practices in clinical care. The long-term vision to develop a flexible platform for MEG technology users, which eases third-party integration, will provide a first path for any clinical institution. Those who utilize MEG technology will gain access to methods and applications that will enable brain mapping beyond pre-surgical evaluation for patients. So could you explain to our audience how FIND Neuro supports this strategy and what users can expect, Avi?
So first of all, I would say strategically that we're so thankful to have you as partners, and one cannot perform a revolution on its own. And I think, at least from my perspective, there is such a tremendous need, okay? And it is so difficult to succeed that we all need to cooperate, okay? And there is really no competition. And the more we cooperate, the more everyone will succeed. And definitely in MEGINs and FINDs, I mean, it's a phenomenal synergy on a personal level and on a go-to-market level. And I think that what we love, if I may talk also, Noam, in your name, is your absolute commitment to making it happen. And I would say the more strategic, integrative look, understanding that you have a role in market education and in assistance, probably in the development of new procedures and new fields, and that takes time. And this is very, very difficult for a technological company that never has enough time and never has enough money. And so we hope that maybe we can assist you in the process to educate and support more customers faster.
I think the feeling's mutual. We're very excited about this partnership ourselves. So I think it's a great, it's been a great experience so far, I think.
And I think that, in all medicine, definitely neurosurgery and obviously epilepsy, there is a significant lack in the utilization of technology. And it is so complicated, okay, that by utilizing technology, we can maybe reduce the barriers, okay? And we can assist neurosurgeons to become better, faster, treat more patients, safer, etc. Okay? And by integrating all of the results and by analyzing all of the results, etc., I hope and believe that we can take epilepsy, and especially drug-resistant epilepsy, to the next level of treatment. And so many people are suffering. And this is not only quantity-wise, it's also business-wise. It's a phenomenal opportunity. So I hope that we together we will be able to serve this market and take it to the next frontier. And I cannot understand medicine that is not leading the frontier of technology, okay? I cannot believe that an iPhone is more advanced than the equipment in the OR. It can't be. And this is what we should do. We should work to serve, surgery and neurosurgery and epilepsy treatments, and to be much, much more sophisticated than our camera and phone and car and satellites, etc.
Yeah.
This is the right priority from my perspective. And I'm very objective.
I think we agree. I think the patient is at the center of all of this. I completely agree.
It goes not only to epilepsy, but to other diseases. Epilepsy is a family of diseases, but same goes for chronic pain. So many people are suffering, and PTSD, and early diagnosis of of various neurodegenerative diseases, and maybe implementation of neuromodulation instead of ablation or, etc. There is a lot of room for advancement in this field. That's it. Sorry, finished.
That's okay. Thank you. Noam, I have a question around how can FIND Neuro be incorporated into the operational flow of a neuroradiology or epileptology department? How do you feel it will meet the needs of the clinical community and solve the current challenges that MEG users face?
So first of all, from talking with many clinicians, we realized that we need a tool that will seamlessly integrate into the flow with maybe up to 3 buttons. It should be easy to use and easy to understand. And this is exactly what we're doing. So first of all, when they even acquire the data, they can upload directly the data to a server that is installed in their facility. So that's solved a problem from the 90s century, even how to find the data. Then in the background, we are doing automatic analysis like event detections and 3D reconstruction of the brain. And we are doing that in multi-modal way, meaning that we can now integrate different modalities together. And when they discuss a patient, they can start immediately from visualization of viewing all this rich information in the same space and interactively. So they can first look and understand the data much easier. So that will save them a lot of time for the analysis itself to find the events and so on. It will also help with the invasive electrodes planning. They can see the network based on the MEG and decide where to implant the invasive electrodes. They can view, for example, the functional mapping like that and see, let's say, if the language area is close or far enough from the area that they want to resect or ablate. And as I already said, we believe that can bring to a better utilization of RNS. We are going to explain the responsiveness of RNS, what patient can benefit and how much they are going to benefit from that. And that leads me maybe to a next step of our technology, what we call similarity engine. We are working now with many centers to collect a huge cohort of data. And then, let's say a year from now, a neurosurgeon will have a new patient. We can use our platform now to ask, okay, what similar patients, based on their neurodynamics, I can find among different hospitals, and what was helpful or useful for them. So our platform can now advise him that a specific treatment was the most effective treatment for similar patient like his new patient. So we could provide the probabilities, but also the risk, and show him in what cases it didn't work and how we can avoid it. So that would also help not only the clinicians, but also the patients. For the first time, they have probabilities. They know what are the odds for success.
So that was the clinical aspect. What about the research users? How will they be able to incorporate this?
Yeah, so first of all, we came from University Hospital, MGH, and we came from research. I was doing my postdoc, I'm a PhD, not an MD. So I want the company to give back to the community, the research community. And in the last 9 years, we are doing that. And you can look up for the many papers that was published using our technology. We want to continue like that and make it easier. So like we are now helping clinicians to integrate different modalities, we're doing the same thing with researchers who are doing their own study with different modalities and want to integrate them. They want to visualize it better. Our first paper actually was about how to do data exploration in the case of multimodal data sets like the MEG and EEG. It's really hard. And usually now in the research, researchers jump directly to do statistics because it's really hard to look on the raw data. So we are going to help with that. And we are going to help with data access. Centers will have their own servers, so it will be much easier to collaborate between different labs, to collaborate and share data and share results, but also share pipeline. If a lab now develop a new pipeline, all the other labs that's using our platform can use it seamlessly, but it will be already on the server. And not on the server, but it will also be a cloud infrastructure. So researcher can work directly with the cloud with no installation at all.
That's really exciting, I think. So for the audience, then maybe one of you or both of you can let us know, how do they find more or find out more and get access, or users find access to Find Neuro? Where shall I go other than our website? Because, you know, we've put it all out there on our website, but how do they find out more about Find Neuro?
So first of all, please contact us. And the audience can go to our beta site. It's now live. It's a findneuro.io. They can play with it. Instead of IO, they can also change it with Chrome and see our website.
Mm-hmm.
But please contact us. We're now in the phase that we want to collaborate and help as many centers as we can.
And I know we have a plan to together, I guess, attend some of the events, the shows that are coming up sort of in August time, I guess from August. So, you know, any of these, we will be promoting those as well, and letting people know on our platforms too. So then they get access to MEGIN and FIND Neuro at the same time. So that's exciting. So we've come to the end of our segment, and thank you both very much for your time today. It's been really exciting discussions about the new strategic partnerships with FIND Neuro, and we're really looking forward to sharing more updates with our audience in the future, which we will keep everyone posted. And yeah, thanks again for joining us today.
Thank you so much and good
Thank
luck
you.
to everyone.
Thanks.
Bye bye. Take care.
Thanks.